Alright then, so this is going to be number 4, I think, in my series of reviews for the Space Circle. So let me just find the right thing. What am I looking for here? I'm in the wrong folder. There we go. So this video was recorded in a scrim between Space Circle, of course, and this was a group of trialists I had trying out for my team. So important to note that this is not an organised team, although there are some very good players there. As we spoke about previously, I'm not going to review the whole match. Instead, I'll pick 1 or 2 rounds and we'll review those in a little more depth. So a little bit slower. The video shouldn't be much longer. It should probably be a little bit shorter than what you're used to, but hopefully a lot more in depth. So just for clarity and to explain what's going on here, so I've been helping these guys out over the last month or two with weekly or every other week kind of training sessions, regular scrim reviews for them. So what we've gone over so far, which has got them to where they are, is some basic positioning, both defensive and offensive. I've given them some structure and kind of a framework to build the team around, so everyone knows what's expected of them at all times. And we've introduced them to a few different rollouts that they're trying out and using regularly now. And beyond that, I haven't actually taught them too much else. The rest of it is all on them. So just by adding that little bit of structure to their team, defining their roles, and some basic positioning stuff, they've jumped from a low bronze team up to a high silver team. So just a little bit of input really from my end, and most of it has been down to their hard work. So well done, guys. And again, if anyone else finds these reviews helpful, let me know. So I'm going to review rounds 1 and 2, because I think you lost round 1 but ended up winning round 2, so there'll be a good mixture of good and bad. So as previously, I'll go over each play that stands out as a particularly good play or maybe a not so good play, and give you guys some feedback. So I'm of the understanding that Salamat, your sub here, was playing backstack with Birdie, and GB, your new player, was playing front stack with Tommy. So let's get to the beginning of round 1 and let's go. So good speed from you guys to win the stack, and I love the slap down. Self-pass for Tommy. Hard luck. I'm not sure if that was a shot or a pass attempt there, GB. But this is a fantastic start here. I love this slap. What we do on tyro is if we win the joust, we slap it up, and then our backstack flies over and picks it up. But this is kind of a similar thing you're doing here. We're slapping it down either for self-pass or playing it forward. And Tommy, perfect choice here in the pass to GB. But GB, you should always be shooting there. Nice open goal. Easy to. Maybe it was just a tracking issue, I don't know. So you can see we're a little slow to get back. But once we are back, that little backwards pass there, very good. Nice work, Birdie. So you pick it up here. You recognise that we're rushing back, so yeah, good work. So the pass there, Tommy, was maybe a little rushed. Let's look at your options. So we're all rushing back into defence. You pick up the disc here, and initially I suppose Salamat looks quite open. And the rest of us, you're being rushed a little bit here, so more pressure. Where's your 4th player? So you got someone on backboard. Okay. So the issue with setting up on backboard here, so this is for GB, I believe, is you're completely out of the game over here, because I know I'm not really a goalie, but any good goalie will be covering the backboard. So backboard isn't a great spot to be in this far away from the play. Also, we've got Perch here, who's one of our trialists, who's on this side of shield, so you're completely covered there. So that's one pass option removed. Birdie, so you're in the process of getting yourself into position, so not currently available. So Salamat, I think you are the only person available right now, which maybe forces Tommy's hand. So another option, Tommy, you could have pushed back and kind of spread the play out a little bit and give Birdie a chance to settle, but I can understand why you did what you did. So we rushed it clear. So, okay. So Birdie, that's a little problem you created for yourself there by not going straight to disk. But again, this comes down to team communication. Um, you know, the disk's a little bit out of the way here. You're going to have to adjust your course to get there. If your team is confident that you can get there before our stacks do, they should be calling out, telling you to go to disk. By floating all the way back to goal, you've given our stacks a chance to win that from you. And as you can tell, we very nearly did. So in some circumstances like that, it might be worth going straight to the disk and then trying to build your attack from the back. Instead, by kind of giving us the time to kind of pressure you, we forced an error here, which means we can start to build an attack. So, and the error we forced here came from, I think it was a bad clear from Tommy. Let's have a look. Yeah, so this is something we spoke about a little bit in our last video with these clears going straight through mid. As you can see, all the play is very central, and in these kind of transitional phases of the game, from defense to attack, it tends to become quite more central like this. So your clear option is always going to be out towards the tunnels. Clearing through mid like this is always risky because it's easier to read the clear, so our stacks could get there to you, get to the disc before you. And obviously, if we have players sat in the middle like I was here, it's easy to pick up. So let's have a look at defensive shape here. So you've just lost a disc. I want to see how quickly you can get back into shape. Okay, good. So you can see that Tommy, you realised there were defensive players here waiting for the disc, so you came back to cover them. That's good. The pass was bad, so let's see how we get on here. Everyone misreads the disc. Savage picks it up. Another bad pass. And it's that instant pressure, kind of making you guys, causing errors. Okay, so quite a big problem here is that once the disc has entered the bubble, you all hit panic stations and start chasing the disc. So you see here you've got GB and Birdie both pressing the disc. In this circumstance, Birdie, you probably want to be staying in goal and letting GB pressure, unless you're 100% sure you can win that disc. Tommy, great work here. You're marking me up on shoulder, so I think in this picture right now, you're the only player in a good position defensively. Granted, we'd won possession very quickly, and so none of you had chance to settle, but you really want to get this kind of defensive shape set up as soon as possible. So, Salamat, you're playing as mid, so I like to think the way we do it on Tyro is if you're a mid, you're kind of watching this nest shield boot area, so I can see why you're here. However, you also need to recognise that there's no value in being here if there's no one to mark. Whereas Tommy's spotted me up here, he's up marking me very closely, taking me out of the game. But by being up here, you're not offering very much defensively, so you want to start watching one of these players or closing down maybe this guy over here. And this is an example of things going a little bit wrong. I think everyone started to try to play goalie and chased into the middle here. So I can understand why Birdie and I think it was Salamat rushed the goal. Birdie being goalie, that's her job. I think Salamat covered as well. But then Tommy, your mistake here is you've left right shoulder. So you were in a really good spot up here because you were marking me, and Perch came up and joined me. So you would have been marking two of us. But by kind of panicking and rushing into the goal, you've left us open, and that's what ultimately will costed you this goal. So yeah, try not to hit panic stations. You have a goalie for a reason, and Birdie's a very good goalie. So trust her to make those saves. Now, she's not going to make those 2-point saves very often because no good even the best goalies in Echo aren't going to save very many of the 2-pointers. But try to resist that urge to rush goal and make a save if you're covering someone. You're better off keeping that player out of the game. So I just want to go back and see this rollout. So you're going for left tunnel play, and your attackers, one of you needs to be stopping in tunnel. I'm sure you know that. Maybe it's just you missed a geo or miscommunication. But yeah, make sure before every rollout you know exactly who's going where. Also, backstack have separated. So for this rollout, you guys want to be getting stacked up and moving forward together. Because if the pass is successful, you can get 4 of you on attack very quickly. If the pass is unsuccessful, you can mop it up. So make sure backstack's staying together. Lots of floating from Tommy. Nicely picked up by GB. Okay. So a couple of issues there. So Tommy floating straight towards the goal is very predictable, which is why you nearly lose the disc. A better option maybe would have been to float up to Pac-Man and then up to Ghost or to Boot. Like look, go to Geo. And because you get this instant pressure when you're floating, there's nothing you can do but throw the disc. So it forces this kind of panicky throw. GB picks up the disc, but then makes quite a predictable move. That kind of jumping towards the goal. That's what all of the defenders are going to expect you to do. So grabbing the disc below goal like this, maybe move sideways or below goal, trying to get towards backboard. There's much more you can do from backboard than you can do down here. But by trying to jump up towards the goal, that's what all of these players are expecting you to do, which is why you get tackled. Great read from Birdie. Nice aggression. Backing up. Great. Unlucky. You had the right idea there by backing up and trying to buy some time. Savage is just a very good offensive player. He'll pressure mistakes like that. So you can see here what Money Mitch is doing is what I'm trying to catch you guys to do. So that's a perfect example actually of something GBU could have done just 10 seconds earlier. So you can see here the disc comes loose. Now in this instance, Mitch grabs it and instantly pushes back to create time and create space. Now this is the opposite of what you did there, GB, where you jump straight towards goal. I'm sure if you watch Salamat and Tommy, they're probably anticipating that jump towards goal, which is why this little push is so effective. And that got us to goal. So, yeah, you did nothing wrong defensively there. You will get back. You could have maybe marked players a little better, but that's something we haven't really gone over yet. So in our next coaching session, we'll go over player marking, bubble defence, and help you guys to soak up some of that offensive pressure. So what are we doing this time? Looks like a right tunnel play. Unfortunate that the first pass didn't connect, but that's just luck. So you got... Okay, so yeah, I don't think anyone's marking Nest, and that was the dangerous pass, so make sure you recognise that danger and someone's marking him. The clear's good though to tunnel, that's what I want to see. And great stack speed, unlucky GB. Okay, so let's set this attack up nicely, slow it down. Good work, Birdie. Unfortunate. What I really would have liked to see there is someone down on the boot to kind of offer a sideways pass. So in this situation, you've got Birdie with the disc here, recognising there isn't a pass option. You've got Tommy on goal, which is not a good spot to be in, Tommy. You've got me in goal, who can steal the disc if it gets past you, and you've also got Mitch right on you. So yeah, you want to get away from the goal. Don't, stunning the goalie works. It's a good meta. It's frustrating, but you're better off being a pass option. So what pass options has Birdie got? So yeah, you got GB down on left boot. I didn't realise that. Okay, so good positioning from GB. Salamat here, probably getting into position. He's stunned out at the moment. So GB is moving because I'm covering her, which takes away that pass option. So I think, yeah, your only pass option really here was Tommy or Salamat, or Henry. So maybe the issue here was communication. Maybe Henry not calling out his position early enough to let you know. You don't have to wait to be on the geo to make the call out. Something I quite often do in this situation. I'd say I'll be at nest in 2 seconds, and that gives Birdie the reassurance to know she can make that pass maybe a little bit slower, and I will get there. So maybe just communicate ahead of time where you're going to let her know there's a pass option, because that turnover was purely because of lack of options. Not all your fault either. We were marking quite nicely. So that's just an unfortunate headbutt. And an unfortunate clear. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with what you're trying to do there. Okay, that was just that goal was just, there was a lot of unfortunate mistakes. Just misreading the disc, not quite getting the clear perfect. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with what you guys did there. That was just an unfortunate goal to concede. What are we going for here then? Standard split, nice. Nice early take from GB. Now get anchored. Nice cross pass to Tommy. That's it, Tommy. Get yourself anchored, mate. Good. Okay. Lots of floating going on with GB there. That's something that, for GB's sake, something I went over a lot in the first couple of sessions with these guys, trying to stop this floating on the disc, because that's when a defender will look at you and go, that's an easy tackle, because there's nothing you can do. You can't juke. You can maybe jump and dive a little bit, but it's quite easy for good players to read. So get yourself anchored as much as you can. If you've got the disc, you want to be anchored. So this is what Tommy's doing here. He's on the floor. He's staying near an anchor point. So if anyone pressures him, you can probably dance around him. Great work from Tommy just to buy time. The pass probably not the best option. So let's look at your options here. So we're all marking up, and you can see from the map here, you haven't got single player open. And this is because you're all quite tight around the bubble. Now this is something we do on our team a little bit, and something we're working on at the moment, is just spreading the attack out. So if Tommy's over here, I'd want, who's number 28? Let's have a look. Henry, maybe push right out to the wall here. Number 5, GB, oh no, number 5, Birdie, maybe come out to the opposite wall here to spread us out. Because at the moment, with being so clumped together, there's going to be a defender near all of you. And also, Tommy, you're not being pressured at all here, so you don't need to make that pass. You can always walk it forward a little bit and wait for someone to pressure you. Because you have to think, if someone's pressuring you, that means they're no longer marking another player, which means you might have an open pass. And that's how we play. So the pass comes in, Birdie, who's being heavily marked by Perch. But you've also got Salamat being marked by myself, and GB being marked by Mitch. So there wasn't really a pass option forward there. So maybe you could have walked that in, but again, maybe the attacking positioning could have been spread out a bit better. That's good, Tommy. Nice work there on the disc. Unlucky with the pass. Again, I think that's like you got caught floating and you panicked a bit. So we see the bad clear there. The Perch picks it up. Where are you guys? That's it. Good. So you guys are actually getting to the disc before us for the most part. But then the clears are just letting you down a bit, because you'll get the disc, clear it, and then we tend to be mopping up the clear that you've made. So maybe just you want to start thinking about how, if you collect the disc in your own half, how you can turn that into an attacking advantage. Because at the moment we clear it, but you're beating us to the disc, but then you're throwing it back to us most of the time. So you either want to do some work on your clearances and make sure they're a little more accurate, or practice passing. You can pass in your own half and buy time and then get the disc forward, but you're going to need some stronger communication to make that happen. You need to let the player on the disc know if they're red or green or yellow, and let them know where you are for the pass. Okay, so again here you had 3 players chasing the disc at the same time instead of marking. So yeah, we'll in our next training session we'll go over some of that stuff for you. Nice goal, Birdie. Good attack in general, actually. So you can see you're working your way forward, and you had 2 options here, neither of them being marked. So yeah, perfect. You saw an opportunity and you took it. Well done, guys. That's some defensive errors from us. You guys spotted those errors and capitalized. Perfect. So, what are you doing defensively, guys? Make sure, I want to see this backstack stopping on diamond. I think everyone stopped quite deep there. So, yeah, the problem with this is on your defensive rollout, everyone stopped really deep, which meant we had 0 pressure, which gives us a nice chance to set up our attack. Now, what we're doing is your variation of your legs wide open play here. So we could take all the time in the world we wanted here, and our backstack instantly. This is what I want your backstack to be doing. So just to show you an example on the offensive rollout, watch how Mitch grabs the disc, but then his mid comes straight back to him, ready to stack forward. So he could have thrown it all the way back here and I'd still be on Mitch ready to go. Okay, so after that first pass, you watch, we stack forward, we get into an attacking position. Because you've not pressured us at all, we can set up our attack much nicer. So we've got someone up on cloud ready for the back pass if needed. You've got Savage floating through here. We're in a good spot here to nick a goal. And again, we're not being pressured. And when we are pressured, here's the error. Okay, so we're not being pressured very much, which means we can just take our time. So he's just backing up, letting us get shape. But then when he is pressured, what's wrong with this? Pressured by 2 players. Now the problem with this, you've got 1 goalie, sat in goal, perfect. But you've got 4 attacking players here, looking to score on you, and 2 of your 3 available defenders are on one player. So we have open pass, kind of open pass. And that's exactly, that should have been a goal really. But again, you can see it here. You've got 2 players chasing the disc, another player chasing the disc. Granted, I don't have an open pass really at the moment. So he finishes it. But yeah, this is something we'll definitely have to work on. All these double commits, triple commits. You're leaving players open because you're chasing the disc as a team. You want to have 1 player pressuring the disc, if that. We'll definitely go over some drills to help your marking. It's something that until someone's shown you how to do it right, you're not going to know it, or until you work it out yourselves, and it's not something that's easy to work out. So I'm not expecting you guys to be great at marking yet, but I'm just trying to point out these errors in your defence to help you recognise where those improvements need to be made. That's great work from Tommy. That's perfect. That's what I want to see. This is why I say that the floating's bad, but if you're going to float, go from geo to geo. This is great. So we're not pressuring you at the moment because we're trying to mark your players. So as you can see, I've come up to mark Birdie here. Okay. Now you've got GB open on the bottom there, and one of my defenders has been pressuring the disc. So we're not defending great here, but Tommy recognises that the pressure's not on him. So absolutely take it in 1-on-1. Great decision. And being anchored has allowed you to manoeuvre the player that was attacking you, trying to defend against you. Good work, Tommy. Just want to see how long this video is already. Okay, a little long. I won't pause it so much. So we have a slow roll out. Again, no pressure, so we can just walk it forward. Now, this is kind of a little bit of understanding of kind of the match as a whole. Sitting back and defending deep can be a very valid and useful technique. But when you're 5 points behind with a couple of minutes left, that's not the time to be sitting deep, because we can just run the clock down, take our time. So when you're behind, you want to turn up the aggression, start forcing us to make some errors, and then start capitalising on those errors. By sitting deep, you're letting us control possession, and if we control possession, we're going to win the game. It's a good stun on the way through. That's great read, Birdie. That's just what I want to see from you. That perfect. Good work. Again, unlucky with a clear, but the read was great. And I think the error there was just that everyone was kind of... You were quite far forward, so I'm tempted to say you were defending quite aggressively, but you weren't really. You were kind of sat waiting for us around mid, and then we were just stunning you out around here. So you weren't really defending aggressively. You were just too far forward without the aggression, if that makes sense. If you're going to be far forward like this, you need to be really pressuring that disc as a stack, preferably, like pressure. Just kind of sat here and not being aggressive, it leads to this kind of thing where you're out of play. So yeah, I think that was just a case of poor defensive positioning from your front stack. But again, that's something we will work on. This is your first round though. It always takes us a round to warm up. And I know you win the next round, so we'll go over that one as well. So what role are we going for? Left tunnel play. unlucky. Nearly made that pass. And great work from the back stack. I love that. You're ready to mop up our clear. Perfect. Now it's just a case of translating that into an attack. And yeah, you kind of passed it into a crowded area there, which is why it didn't work. But great work from GB. This is really good. So I know, I remember this actually now. I knew you were right on me, and I was expecting you to stun me. So I didn't want to try and stun you out and risk getting stunned. I didn't really want to commit to the disc, knowing that if I did, you'd stun me. So I was really stuck here for knowing what to do. So, but you can see what you do. You just use me as a boost. You don't go for the stun. You just use the boost and get into the attacking position. You notice the goal's open, so you go for the shot. Rightly so. Yeah, fantastic bit of attacking there from GB. Really good instinctual striking. Yeah, my only minor criticism is against a very good goalie. They probably would have turned around and saved it, but still, yeah, great shot. Great to see that the opportunity was there, and even better for taking it. That's better. That's what I want to see the front stack doing. Really forcing the pressure. But your initial pressure here was perfect. You slam into us. You forced a quick pass, potentially force an error, but then you separate. Oh no, so you did do a regrab or two, but then you separated. Okay. So maybe focus on getting back together if you separate, because now look, you're completely out of the play. Numbers advantage is ours. We should have capitalised. You get back together eventually, but yeah, I'm trying to see what else went wrong there. So the front stack were a bit slow to get back together. So Salamat, you're pressuring the disc. That's fine. It's the clear again, a bit too central. So if you're not sure about the clear, aim for these parts on the wall. Get it wide and get it away from the goal. If you're not sure where the players are, there's a good chance they'll be in front of you. Just unlucky, really. Again, nothing fundamentally wrong there. It's just a little tweak to maybe throwing the disc to the side or throwing it up or down away from the group of players. Right, what rollout are we going for here? You've had a good variation to your rollouts. You're not doing the same one every time. You're mixing it up nicely. So go back for legs wide open. The clear comes through. Is the stack there? They are unlucky. I like that though. Your back stack being aggressive and pressuring the clear. Very nice. Right, so this is where I want to see Tommy slowing the play down. I know you're not going to win this game now, but you want to get a goal if you can late on to get the momentum swinging your way. So play as you normally would. Great positioning from Birdie for the switch pass. Yeah, I think the pass over to Birdie was the choice there, really. So just looking at all of your positioning. So again, you've got someone right under goal, which is quite a nice position. But again, from here, you're covered by the goalie, so that pass can't come to you. Tommy's floating, so he's not really a pass option. I think I would have preferred to see the pass over to Birdie initially. So Birdie's here. Mind you, she is kind of being marked by Perch. So let me think. Actually, the pass would have been under goal here to GB. Here. Yeah, you're in a really difficult situation, to be fair, here, Tommy. You haven't got an obvious easy pass. Perch is marking Birdie well. Savage is kind of blocking that clear pass to GB, and I'm marking the shoulder. So what happens is you pass it to the player I'm marking. I'm going to be quick to stun him out. Or not. I should have stunned him out. Okay, good recovery. Now what? What do we do? Yeah. I think a lot of your problems on attack are coming from you'll have one player on the disc sat quite deep with the disc, or sat, kind of like in the final third of the pitch, and all of the other players migrate to the bubble and they bunch up in the bubble, and this creates the kind of funnel effect where all of your players are funneled into our defence, so we can mark them very easily. So you'll find yourself passing into the bubble, then very quickly running out of options. So the way we play, we set up as a square, and this is what our cloud play that we talked to you about. Our cloud play is essentially a way of always having an open pass. So on attack, we set up with someone on the left cloud, someone on the right cloud, and then 2 players forward, usually on the left wall, kind of around here, and the right wall around here. And we'll keep ourselves on clouds. We'll probably maybe pass back and forward to the cloud to try and draw your attackers out to open up some space. And the way clouds work is that there's always going to be an open pass, because the goalie isn't going to leave goal to mark someone on the wall, right? So we have 4 attackers and 3 defenders and the goalie, right? The goalie can't mark someone, so the 3 defenders have to mark 4 players. They can either choose to sit on the 2, have one person mark the attacker over here, one person mark the attacker over here, and maybe mark the third player on the cloud here, which means the player on the disc can just float it forward and score if he wanted to. If you decide to pressure the player on the cloud, you can just pass it to the other cloud because he knows he's open. If one of your defenders that's marking the right attacker decides to come up and pressure the cloud, we know that right attacker is now open. So we always have a pass option, whether that's forward or sideways. If this player on cloud was instead forward, and around all of your defenders, he might not be a very easy pass option. And that's kind of what I was seeing a lot in your game, where you are forced into this kind of forward pass into a dangerous area, and that's where you're losing the disc a lot. So you don't have to use clouds. We use it because that's how Everest play, and that's how Bad Almost coached us. But I've seen teams do similar things along the floor, as having 2 players sideways and setting up a nice square around the floor. So there are definitely options for you guys to use that. I'll skip this a bit, but I've noticed it a lot in that round, where your attackers will clump up in the opposition bubble, and it makes the pass very risky. So it's something we can work on. Now I think you win this round, so let's see what works well for you in this round. So I've subbed in a couple of my other trialists to play with Diog in this game, and you've got the same team. So I like this stack pressure from their front stack. That's very good. Okay, let's go just to highlight this because I love this. So Tommy and GB shoot back into defense, and they realise actually there's no one in the bubble to mark, so let's pressure the disc. And by pressuring as a stack, you're forcing us to play really quick and potentially cause errors. And you get back, that's perfect. Really good. Great defending. Defending from the front, that's nice. So what are we doing now? So again, you see, as soon as we get the disc, our back stack shoots right through. Ready to attack. I like this from the back stack, good pressure. But when you get to this kind of area, when we're starting to pressure bubble, that's the time to stop the stack pressure and to mark the bubble. So we get the disc here, use the geo to the open player. Now, I could tell that was going to be a goal way before they scored, because of your defensive positioning here. So initially you have Salamat pressuring the disc, but then GB starts pressuring the disc instead. So Salamat quite rightly says, right, well, if GB's pressuring the disc, I'll move away and find someone to mark. But ends up kind of stuck in a bit of no man's land. The disc comes down to Savage in a dangerous position, and again you all hit panic stations. So look at this, 3 goalies all of a sudden. Why have you got 3 goalies? So hopefully, watching this in retrospect, you see the big issue here. Easy back pass or easy cut pass, right? And he goes for the easy cut pass because no one's on him, because you got 3 goalies for some reason. So you just need to, just because someone in a dangerous position gets the disc doesn't mean they're going to shoot. And if you assume they're going to shoot, you're going to leave players open, and then they definitely won't shoot. So mark a player. And the thing is, even if they so you're marking a player up here, for example, you're taking them out of the game, but someone else scores, at least you're doing your job defensively, you know what I mean? And if everyone on the team does their job defensively, it'll be much harder to score. So even if it feels like by marking a player you're taking yourself out of the game a little bit, you're probably not. Okay, bad clear from us going through mid. Nice stun from Tommy. Great work, Tommy. Really nice aggressive front stack play. Nicely picked up from Henry. Now, what are we doing here? So that's GB. Good. So again, lots of floating here, GB. This is where our stacks are going to come for you, and that's exactly what happened. If our stacks were more used to playing together, you'd have been stunned out way earlier. So again, this is something we did in an earlier coaching session. So the clear comes through, you pick up the disc, great. What I want to see here though is you either coming up to the ceiling and grabbing the ceiling, or latching onto cloud or something. You can grab cloud there nicely, but by floating, I know you're looking back, but most teams, and our team now that we're getting used to each other, would be hitting you by now because you're floating. We know to go straight to you. If you're anchored, we're probably not going to stack at you because you can dodge us. So you get this instant pressure and it's red. So try to avoid that floating behaviour. It takes some getting used to, but get on those anchors. Nice effort, Tommy. Great read and a great stun. Well done, mate. Really good defensive work from you. Backing up nicely. And to open pass. Perfect. Right. Now I like this shape. You've got GB who's just pressed out wide onto left shoulder. Birdie low on the right. Nicely spread out. This is much better than I saw in the first round. Unlucky with the pass though. If that pass had connected, I could see a goal coming. So we clear it and I can see your stacks getting together. Good. I think we must have stunned your stack out there. Okay, everyone's back now. Great. Good pressure, GB. Perfect. And you guys should be first to this disc. Oh no, sorry, that's a bit orange. Good work. Good stacking. And this time it's a really good clear. Good. That's what I want to see. If you're going to clear it, make sure it comes right through. Well picked up from Tommy. Now Tommy, what are you going to do? Let's have a look at your team shape. So yeah, you're low down here and you haven't really got a nice obvious pass because everyone's really high up and there's Geo in the way. So good effort with the pass. But it would have been nice to see someone on right boot maybe there. GB manages to mop up the pass, and again, it's a very good finish. I've always said this. Every time I've seen GB play, you know she's a good natural striker. Yeah, GB does everything right there. But yeah, the initial pass was just you were forced into making an awkward pass, which is why it was missed. And that goes back to the mirroring drill I did with you guys. If you've got someone low on the left, a nice pass from is always going to be low on the right. So if you can have someone mirror, you'll find you'll miss a lot less passes. So we go for like a very slow standard split. Great pressure. That's what I want to see, guys. Fantastic. And the backstacker already there to read it. Beautiful. So this is what I'm talking about with the aggression from the front stack. I'm not necessarily saying get really far forward. I'm saying pressure hard and pressure fast, and that's what you do here. As the clear comes through, you must have been communicating well to let them know you've got the disc and that we're going to clear it because Birdie and Henry are already through. Unlucky with the read, Birdie, but GB's there to mop up, so great. That's a really, really good example of some rapid, really good high pressure defending into a quick counter attack. Great work. From all of you as well. I know GB is the one that got the steal and the clear and the goal, but all four of you are doing the perfect thing and getting forward and getting ready for a quick attack. So nicely done. Great work, backstack. That's exactly what I want to see you doing. You're sat there on that diamond waiting for our pass to come through and then picking us off. Great work. I like that, Tommy. Getting a little boost to get back and cover goal. Nice work. Something I would have liked to see here, though, and this is a little bit more advanced. So Tommy's gone back to cover goal, so I would assume he's communicated that. And now you've got Birdie with Henry wanting to get back to cover goal. But they know goal's already been covered, so it may have been worth pressuring the disc here with this stack. She has some good speed on you. And I could just imagine you clattering into Sav here and stealing the disc. So that could have been an option. Okay, I just want to see what you're doing here defensively. I know you've only got 3 back. I know that GB's been left behind. But you're in that situation where you needed to get back quickly. So that happens. So you got Tommy kind of in and around the goal here. Then he, what is Tommy doing? Okay, he's seen that Killer's there, so he's marking Killer. Good. Great save, Birdie. Awesome save. Okay, so good pressure there from Henry. But GB's is just a little bit. So GB's staying forward a lot, which if you're anticipating a defensive steal and a turnover, that's fine. But you're also leaving your team at a huge numbers disadvantage at the back. So you want to be right back defending with your team. Yeah, so it's happened again here where you've all gone into chase it. Another great save, Birdie. So we're at a point here now where we're slinging a few passes together, and it's making you all want to chase the disc. Because so you see here, Salamat was marking, but then Tommy sensed the danger, so he started pressuring, which means he's probably going to pressure this disc as well now. And GB's coming back, so she's probably going to pressure the disc. So everyone sees an open pass and thinks, shit, no one's marking them. We should all mark them. So look at this. You've got everyone floating towards the disc. You're moving as a little 3 here now because you keep spotting an open pass. And you're going, oh, someone should be marking them. So you're all chasing the disc and you're leaving players open. And you're all kind of floating this way and they're completely ignoring a nice open pass to Perch here. And Birdie makes a worldie of a save. I know, Birdie, you're having some confidence issues at the moment, but bear in mind, Perch's selfie, we didn't take him on in the end. He wasn't one of the trialists we selected, but he in season 3 played for a very good diamond team. I want to say Undercover Kings. I'm not too sure. And he set out season 4 because he broke his leg. But you're making multiple saves against a guy who was quite close to being in the Master Division. So if you're lacking a bit of confidence, just remember that. You know, you're making saves against world-class players here. Some messy defending from us. Nice GB. The only thing I don't like about that is that you shot on the fadeaway. And by that I mean you're moving away from the goal when you make the shot. And I don't need to tell you this, you already know this, don't you? But if you're floating towards the goal at 4 meters per second, your shot will be 4 meters per second quicker because you have your momentum plus the disc. By floating away and shooting, you're losing 4 meters per second. So the fastest you could possibly throw this disc is maybe 12 meters per second. And yeah, look, that's 7 meters per second it ended up being. From 6 meters, a lot of goalies will save that. So I'm not the biggest fan of the fadeaway shot there, but it worked in this circumstance. A better option maybe been to float back and anchor onto boot and then pick a pass. But you scored, so I'm not going to condemn you for scoring. Where's that front stack pressure? Nice, unlucky. Right idea, front stack. So this, I just want to go back to show you what we're doing here is a little bit of a comparison to what you guys have been doing a lot, especially more in the first half. We get a bit loose and a bit panicky here, and we lose a disc. Now, in this circumstance, 99% of the time, you guys would probably go for the clear, and the clear wouldn't work because you've got a backstack here in this situation. So if we went for the clear here, you're going to win it. So we're pressured, we're under pressure in our own half. Look, just nice calm passing around in our own half. You know, it's night and day. That kind of panicky clear to like a nice calm pass. And then the calm pass through mid. Okay, so Killer fucked up here. But yeah, just because you're losing the disc or you just want a disc in your own half, you don't need to make the panic clears like Perch just did there. And the Killer has just done there. So it's we don't do it all of the time. We do it much more now that we're playing as a team. But yeah, look at those kind of nice little sideways passes to buy some time and just compose yourselves. If every time you win the disc, you're clearing it and you're chasing it, it's a very panicky, quick game, and that's when you would make more errors. So any excuse to slow the game down and just compose yourselves and feel in control, you'll play much better. Just going for a left tunnel relay, unlucky missed pass. We go for the dribble play, but misread it. Cheeky goal from Perch. Okay, what's your defence doing here? Let's have a look. So, we've got Birdie covering goal, everyone else coming back, and again, four players around the goal, and people open on Nest. So, I know Perch scored, but there's, if he was, I think he was trying to impress us in this game, so he was being a little bit greedy. But if he'd realised that he had an open pass on Nest, it would have been a much easier goal. So, trust your goalie. Mark a player instead. Okay, what rollout are we going for now? Left tunnel relay again, this time it connects. There's that second pass. Hard luck, hard luck, hard luck. I like your thinking. I've noticed actually quite a lot of the initial passes have been off with Birdie's QBing. And Barry has games like it, everyone has games like it, but there is a little fix you can kind of make. So instead of the attackers floating straight through the tunnel and never anchoring, because that relies on a really, really quick, accurate pass, what the attackers can do is float towards the tunnel, but then anchor up right here on the lip of the tunnel, if you can see where I mean, on the map, just here. Because if Birdie misses to the left, it'll bounce off the wall and you can read the bounce. If she hits the kind of rim of the tunnel, which has happened a few times, you can read the bounce and collect it back here. And if it goes straight into the tunnel, then you can just launch off here towards the disc and pick it up in the tunnel where you would have anyway. So that's a little fix you can do if the QB's throws are a little bit off, then anchor up to the left here, and then Birdie, you want to aim for that side of them, the left side of the tunnel. And that might just help when Birdie's having a bit of an off day with QBs. Again, it happens to everybody, especially at the kind of beginning of your journey of learning the game and developing your abilities. Growth comes at the kind of cost of consistency, I found. That's a great effort. Unlucky. Nice work from Tommy. Looking for that pass, unlucky. So we're getting panicky here now. You're pressuring us really nicely. And yeah, our players are gone to shit a little bit. Nice work. So backstack's back. Everyone's there to defend. Nice. So, oh, look at that aggression. Lovely, guys. Maybe a little too aggressive considering you're drawing, but I like it. I love the aggression, and it pays off. So, very good. I'll end it after this round because I don't want videos to be too long. I've got a couple of extra things to say after this one. Yeah, let's see. So things I want to go over in the next training session then. I want to focus on bubble defense, marking players, making sure you're not double committing. That's great. I want to go back and watch this again. Again, the all starts from the aggression of that backstack, which is you're doing exactly what I told you guys to do. Great work. And that's Birdie and Henry setting up for these guys. I've noticed that a lot in this game. That stopping on diamond and then pressuring the pass, pressuring the clearance. That's a huge improvement you guys have made. So great work, Birdie and Henry and whoever, and CC as well. I know she's not playing, but I know CC does this really well as well. So fantastic work, backstack. So yeah, things for the next coaching session. We're going to go over bubble defense, marking players, making sure we're not double or triple committing. Something else I want to go over is the front stack defensive pressure. So what I want the front stack to be doing on defense, both forward and back on the bubble. I'll go over a little bit more about the floating and staying anchored, because that was a little bit of an issue in this game. And we'll go over some attacking positioning. I might even start teaching you how to use the cloud setup. It takes a long time to learn, but I think it's really, really worthwhile. And you can always adapt it to suit you guys more. But that's that. Yeah, great round. 11-6, dominated us. You were quicker than us. Your stacks are looking really, really good. I love the pressure Tommy and GB were putting on us with their stack. The more you guys can stick together and add to that speed instead of separating, the better. Birdie and Salamat, top work on defence there. Some great saves from you, Birdie, and Salamat. You guys have got a great little partnership there at the back. Diving off from diamond and intercepting clears and passes. So fantastic work from you guys. Tommy, you've got so much better, mate. I know you weren't top scorer in this game, but you were key in nearly every attack, and the way that you would collect the disc, get anchored, back up, and then create time and create space for your team. I don't have the stats on screen to show possession time for each player, but I'd imagine Tommy probably had the most possession time, and that's a sign of a player that's getting comfortable on the disc. He's dictating the play. So great work from you, Tommy. And GB, again, very natural striker. I think you're acting a little bit on instinct at the moment. So maybe we could go, once you get more used to the way the team works, you'll be a little bit more considered in how you play. But acting on instinct isn't always a bad thing. When you see a chance at goal, you're taking it 9 times out of 10. So some great work from you as well. Things on the team in general then. So I do get the odd message from Birdie saying we need your help, we've just lost and it's affected the team, or we're struggling for confidence. The result comes in and it's not the result you wanted and it knocks the team massively. So look, this is something that every team experiences when they're growing. I know for certain it's something my team went through right at the end of the last season. So we had a run of, I think it was 10 games where we only had 2 losses, and we were just on fire. We were winning. We were growing and developing, and we went from, I think it was like 50th all the way up to, I think we were 20th or 19th, kind of right on the cusp of platinum, with 2 weeks to go in the season. And it's natural to get a little bit ahead of yourself, and expectations go through the roof, because I'm looking at the scoreboard, the leaderboard, and going, shit, we could get the Challenger Cup here. We could get in the Challenger Cup and maybe push for Masters and maybe push for finals. I was getting really excited by the idea of that. And then we played, I think it was Fireballs and Fenrir, and we got double mercied, or beaten very, very badly at least in 2 rounds. It's a huge knock, because we're going, shit, we've just won all these games and we've got double mercy. What the hell's going on? But there's such a huge gap between teams. Look at the kind of low bronze where you were a couple of months ago. You'd smash those teams now comfortably, right? Look at the teams in high bronze. You've got a lot of teams in high bronze, low silver who are very good teams and could probably hold their own, but you're more than likely going to beat most of them, right? And now you're playing these kind of high silver, mid silver teams. I think Birdie said you scrimmed against like a platinum or diamond or something team, and they destroyed you, and that really upset you. They're gonna destroy you. That team in diamond, they've been playing diamond teams and platinum teams for probably most of the season. Their players probably all have experience playing high level teams, right? Where Tyro struggled, we jumped up to high gold when we had next to no experience playing high gold teams, right? So we weren't used to the speed of play. We weren't used to the tactics. The strategies that were working for us against the silver teams just wasn't working at the time. So we had a huge setback. But again, that's part of growth. You have to develop your own ability, develop your own play and your own talent. But you also need time to adapt to the teams around you. If you're playing better teams, you're not going to instantly start beating them overnight. You need those losses to teach you how to improve and to teach you what to do better next time. And as you're growing, you're going to be inconsistent. That's just a fact of life as you're developing, You'll have one really good game and one really bad game, but that's how it happens when you're growing, Once you've mastered the game, which I don't think in truth anyone truly has in the world, but once you've mastered the game, then your consistency is, you're more consistent. But at this stage, you're growing, you're developing, you're changing things, and you're changing massive parts of your game, which is going to cause inconsistency. So never let a defeat hurt your mentality. Never let it knock you down. As I said, this season we got knocked down to bronze, but we used that as a springboard to push up, and we got from bronze to nearly to platinum in the space of, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks. So you use those losses to drive progress. look at the losses and think what went wrong and what can we do better next time. Yes, it hurts to lose, but you're learning. If you're just scrimming low bronze teams and winning every time, are you really testing yourselves? Are you going to improve by smashing teams you can beat comfortably? Probably not. You want to be playing teams who are challenging you, who are beating you, because that's what's going to up your game. Okay, so I'll leave it there. Don't let a defeat knock you down. Some great plays in the game I just witnessed against some very good players. Signs are good. So just keep doing what you're doing, and we'll try and book in a session soon, all right? Well played, everybody.